Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will start. Please tell me, sir, any issues? Is my voice audible, sir?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let us start. Yesterday we have seen Freud's and Jung's personality developmental theories. Each one is having their own focus areas. Those focus areas we discussed. Now we will discuss about Adler's, pardon? Now we will discuss about Adler's personality theory. It is called individual psychology also. Let us compare the areas of focus, what Adler did with Freud and Jung, because you already know Freud and Jung, it will become easy for us to understand Adler. Adler is one among the 7 children. He was not well, so he got a lot of illnesses like pneumonia, rickets. So subsequently, that weakened body gave him physical inferiority. So that he incorporated mostly in his theory, but with his product of his times and experiences. What Freud did is, Freud is having a type of superiority complex. If he used to feel that he is superior to his father during the childhood. Also, he used to have the fear of traveling on by train road. So he is, in order to overcome it, he did certain introspection and studied his unconscious mind and studied dreams. So that he reflected that is in his theory. Jung as a boy, when he used to go to school, when teacher treated him badly, he got traumatized. And whenever he used to go to school, he used to fail. He used to faint. So he is in search of finding what I am and what is my real self. That he reflected in his personality theory. Here, Adler, as we discussed that inferiority complex, what he got, he studied medicine to overcome all that and studied psychopathology psychodynamic, psychoanalytical theory of Freud. But he differed with him, as Jung differed with Freud, Adler also differed with Freud. Freud made Jung as the first chairman of International Psychoanalysis Association, subsequently resigned and left. Similarly, Adler was also made president of International Psychoanalysis Association. Adler also twice he became president and he resigned and he floated his own theory, which is very philosophical, looks very philosophical, very brief and very coherent for social life. Now let us see the major areas of difference between Freud and Jung so that this concept will become very easy for us. Freud focused on the innate instincts, and Jung focused more on the innate archetypes which we imbibe or inherit from our ancestors. But Adler focused on the social urges. This is the major, these social determinants will decide the personality, unlike archetypes of Jung and basic instinct of death and life and death, eros and ethnos of Freud. This we have to keep in mind while understanding this individual psychology of Adler. Similarly, Freud focused more on the past experiences. Adler focused more on the future goals and future actions, future ideals. And Jung concentrated more on the present thinking, feelings, and decision making. These aspects, how information is processed, how energy is utilized in the current as introvert or extrovert like that. But here, Adler focused more on the future life. Freud focused more on the biological aspect, as Jung also did same thing, but Adler focused more on the social determinants of personality. Freud focused more on the sexual development and sexual urges and sexual instinct and sexual energy. Jung concentrated more on the ancestral unconscious energy. And Adler focused more on the social interest. Here, social interest means one will try along with his own promotion or own harmony. Every person tries to be in harmony with the society. In two harmonies are there. This is he calls as a union. So unitary personality will be there for human being, not only individual development, but social development also, unlike other two. And another more concentration is more focus is given to unconscious part by Freud. Jung also give more and more. He used two unconscious. One is personal and the second is collective unconscious. But Adler focused more on the conscious decision making, conscious of conditions, problems, issues. So here ultimately what we discussed is that the focus of Adler is harmony between individual progress and social progress. One wants to see a perfect society, also a perfect human being. This is a brief about the Adler. It will become, once we know this, it will become very easy. Instead of, there are in personality structure of Adler, there are 6 to 7 components. Before that, I will briefly discuss about the flow of how a person behaves, personality develops, how he exhibit the behavior according to different conditions, what is the source of the behavior. Very briefly, I will put the flow. Subsequently, we discuss about the, in the meantime, we can focus this also. So here, what Adler says is, why human beings behave as they do. What is the source of it? Why they change it? Why we also change it as a human being? Here, Adler says that there is a causal or primary causal element in every human being, that is creative self, which creates the personality. The source of personality is this creative self. In detail, we will discuss about creative self. Once this creative self creates urges in you and do your day-to-day activities in tune with the social harmony, it gives direction and meaning to the life, this creative self. It is part of the adaptation. Once this creative self urges, you will create your self ideal. That means what is best for you, you will decide. This is also called as fictional finalism. Without these self ideals, visualization of these self ideals as a fictitious element or as an imagination, that will become final to drive your behavior or personality. That is called as finalism. This self-ideal is about the future tasks you have to accomplish, future best what you can realize from yourself. That is self-realization. It shapes the life and gives the direction. Next, from this self creation of self to self-ideals, it creates, persons will strive hard to reach their goals. This is called as striving for superiority in the life. Striving for superiority is not for just a material purpose. He says it is for entire life stages. Every stage you will try to excel yourself. That is, you want to be superior to others, and best from you will be coming out. Not only from your personal life, but also in the social life. Whenever you talk here in Adler, you have to include personal progress, personal harmony, personal development, also social harmony, social best, social perfection, individual perfection. This you have to keep in mind while writing answers for any aspect of Adler. So this drive is innate. By birth, everybody will have this drive to progress forward. That is, then there is another inner drive, that is social interest. That is, harmonizing your interest with the social interest and visualizing the best for both society and the individual. So this is also innate drive. These two innate drives try to visualize our self-ideal created by our creative self. Now, when we are striving hard to achieve them, then we adopt certain manners or processes or ways to achieve it. They are called as style of life. Style of life is must for everybody to achieve anything that is a desired goal or plan or any ideal or ideas realization. You should have means or manners to activities for the style of life. Once these activities you take, if these activities are not healthy, they will create frustration. If they are healthy, they give better life and better social life. It gives a better self-perfection. So when these means are, that we will discuss in detail each point, when these means are not good and weak points or mistaken methods are utilized, you get frustration. When you cannot achieve your goals, then you will develop inferiority. So again, I will come back. Creation of self, creative self creates ideals for achievement called self-ideals or fictional finalism. Fictional finalism is a must and will be there. It creates ideal self also. Highest goal is, what is highest goal is unified personality, that is unified individuality with the society needs. Okay, now that ideal gives us a striving for superiority. To strive, we, along with the social interest, that is social harmony, we go for certain activities to achieve them. Those actions, if they are healthy, they give better social life and self-perfection. And if they are weak, we will get frustration. From these frustration of not solving your life problems. It may be in the love, or it may be social life, it may be the occupation, it may be the relationships. These frustrations gives inferiority. Subjective evaluation gives inferiority. If there could be objective inferiority also. Suppose you want to achieve 1 crore in your life, you could achieve only 50 lakhs in your life. That gap also gives, when it is measurable, with reference to the external goal, then it is called objective inferiority. This subjective inferiority, objective inferiority gives problems in the human being. What are the methods to overcome this inferiority? Is the solution in number 1 is coping behavior. We have to face it. There is no other code. Acknowledge, get awareness, consciousness, as we discussed earlier. Adler gave more importance to consciousness rather than the subconscious, unconscious. In this consciousness, consciousness means becoming aware of it. Once you become aware of what is your goal, whether it is not in tune with what you can do, if it is not conducive to the environment, the higher levels are there, then you have to change them. So that type of problem-solving attitude one has to adopt. This coping behavior, one is problem-solving, that is changing, addressing the cause and changing the goals and reinventing your style of life. Then comes another method, that is compensation. Compensation means either improving alternative arrangement, you can see. So, for example, he discussed about the physical inferiority. You already know that he has pneumonia and rickets in the childhood. Physical inferiority called that. He compensated with the studies and becoming doctor. So he strived hard for that. Similarly, he also that is called as compensation. Compensation with the other act. Now, once these two, one fails to achieve in overcoming the inferiority, people adopt safeguards. Safeguards means alibis. They try to find alibis and protective walls. Freud says them as the defense mechanisms. Please remember this point. Freud says it's defense mechanisms, and here the student of Freud, that is Adler, who deviated from Freud, and concentrated more on social factors and the consciousness, says that these are safeguards. There are three types of safeguard generally. There are excuses and aggression and distancing from the self. Please, sir, somebody please mute yourself. Then once these are still, the safeguards are temporary only. These safeguards are not not reducing the intensity of anxiety in the person. Then there will be overcompensation. He tries to create more aggressive postures. This overcompensation for perceived inferiority, he uses self-aggrandizement. That means I am the great, so I can achieve anything. But his inferiority is highly in high in degree, which is incapacitating. But if for the world he poses that he is very great person. And then otherwise, instead of striving hard for the personal interest, social and personal interest, he only focuses on the self-interest, where he can use manipulative activities also. So ultimately, the causes for such type of this is called neurosis. Adler says that this overcompensation gives the neurosis. This neurotic person should understand this? What are the causes for this? Is it self ideas what you put, goals you fixed are appropriate or inappropriate, or the means, that is style of life, what he adopted is appropriate or not? So he should become realistic and change the pattern with courage. This is the essence of very brief, just like philosophical notation. There is not much very deep as Freud and Jung discussed. This is about social phenomena and individual phenomena. Is it just a brief? Could you follow, sir? Anybody having a little doubt? Not
Yes,
deep
Yes,
doubts, but peripheral.
Not deep, sir, but this neurosis,
Yeah.
this neurosis narration which we have got in page number 108 of our study material, sir. It has become a little bit difficult for.
Okay, sir. But I will actually, it is not a point, but I will briefly tell. Neurosis is other than psychosis. Meaning, psychosis means unrealistic thoughts. That is, psychosis includes hallucination, delusions, these concepts. So just like in schizophrenia or paranoid, schizotypal, these people also will have. But other than that, everything is called as neurosis in old literature. Now, neurosis is not there in diagnosis. I think DSM-4, they abandoned that. The neurosis basically means related to stress and anxiety. All disorders which are related to, presently, people use it as neurosis means stress and anxiety, fear disorders.
They are normal people by and large.
They know that what is their problem, but psychosis people don't know that.
Yes, sir.
Unrealistic, they are realistic, but they cannot avoid these people, neurotic. This is very brief. Okay, coming back to Adler. Adler biologically, he did every week, Friday they used, Wednesday his colleagues used to meet and discuss about the neurology and psychology. Study of, he wrote the book, Study of Organ Inferior, because he got that problem and its impact and psychical compensation he wrote in the book. This is a major book on which he built up the. We already discussed about Adler and not only Adler and Freud, but also Jung, Freud and Adler. Now, coming to the first one is what are 7 elements are there that we can read now for basic understanding. The fictional finalism is what is the goals and plans and ideas or ambitions. One develops. Which one develops this one? Internally, this is creative self develop this. The primary prime mover, or what you call as first causal element. So this is for what one generally try to realize in his life. They may be temporary, they may be medium term or long term or short term. But everybody, it is a must for everybody. Adler says that it is must for everybody to have this future-oriented vision. So health here, there are different issues which can be tested, which cannot be tested. So the friction, these are frictional elements. So old mother believe that their children are too busy, but they may be wasting the time, may not be busy. Such things will be there. So here, these ideals or goals fixed by human beings are subjected to the change. One has to change them if they are not realizable or beyond their capacity, or social obstacles are more. If he is not changing, then he will become neurotic person. Generally, neurotic persons won't change. They are fixed in their thoughts, ideas. Here, healthy persons will change this idea. This is about the fictional. This is about the why they have these goals in order to overcome the problems of existence. That is, life problems are visualized as solutions. This fictional finalism sees the solutions and fixes the goals for achievement.
Sir, sorry to disturb you, sir.
Please.
Sir, is neurosis and neurotics both are same, sir?
Pardon?
Neurosis and neurotics.
No, those who are having neurosism, neurotics will have it. Same,
Okay,
sir. Now this neurotic word not used. That is in DSM-4 that was dropped.
Okay, sir.
Nervousness is there, but in neuroticism it was dropped. Okay, sir. Now here, once you have self-ideal, this is also called a self-ideal. Ideal gives certain goals for you to overcome your problems. To overcome these problems, we have striving for superiority. Innate drive or desire is there to excel in every field. In order to realize final goal also, one will adopt this one. Every point of time, one will adopt. But while adopting this concept, there is a change, or progressively Adler changed this concept. Finally, he focused that it is for entire life. The power or use of force or aggression or claiming for superiority or deemed or perceived superiority, people adopt this innate drive for not only for social, not only for personal life, but also for the social life. This is a dynamic concept which unite both. But the neurotic persons, they mostly focus on the self-interest, whereas the normal healthy persons focus more on the healthy persons focus more on the personal as well as social aspects. This is important point. Whatever concept you see, we have to think from neurotic and normal angles. Next, the striving for superiority is motivated not to bring balance in the body or balance in the society or balance in the individual life. It is to go for superior position, minus to the plus or lower to the higher or inferior to the superior, not equilibrium or survival purpose only. It is higher level. So healthy persons always seeks improvement in her life. Next comes inferiority feeling. I am going by the order given in the book, but order could be changed. We can start with the creative self. Yeah, inferiority feeling. Once we are not achieving, it gives inferiority. Not only that, here physical inferiority is discussed. Some people are born with certain defects. It causes psychological inferiority. And overindulgent children, pampered children also get developed, and neglected children also develop. So, as a to overcome inferiority, man or woman always try to compensate them by improving other skills, which can make them superior in other angle, and also improving strengthening the inferior organ through physiotherapy or medicine or practices. Then other organ overdevelopment also takes place in the compensation process. This inferiority complex, we already earlier I discussed that there is subjective and objective. This when we are unable to achieve the goals of day-to-day life or long-term or medium goals, repeated frustration or failure in that, then it causes inferiority. Inferiority also gives compensation. I already discussed a little bit. So this blind person try to focus more on the vision-related issues. Or Beethoven is a deaf person, but he excelled in the music. So that compensation process, one example is given. Now, the other concept is social interest. Social interest aims at the social harmony, social stability, social excellence. Just 1 minute. So now we will focus more on this self-interest. This is very interesting. Adler says social interest should be united with the personal interest. That is unified personality. It is the how you are adopting or accommodating the social interest gives you how healthy you are in adopting your problems. This is the criteria what Adler says. Sorry. So happiness index and accommodation index and success index are given by the social interest in you. It is to make a perfect society along with satisfying your needs and your perfection. The importance of the social interest is used for judging the worth of the person, whether they are sociologically or psychologically matured or not, how their socialization is there in interpersonal relationship, and how immature people lack social interest or self-centeredness, strive for personal power over others. Instead of social needs, they forget here. Healthy individuals are genuinely concerned about the people, have goals of success that encompasses well-being of all people, that is including the society and neighbors. Social interest is not synonymous with charity or unselfishness. Now, there are once this superiority, striving for superiority and social interest gives drives to accomplish the fictional finalism or the self-ideal, the means adopted to attain this goals or superiority are called as style of life. Healthy, there are two types of styles. One is healthy style and another one is mistaken style, which are in sync with the social needs, other needs. When you consider them, respect them and accommodate them, that's what we call in modern psychology, emotional intelligence. So that we can adopt here also, that we can compare here. So this permits person to live in harmony with self and others and society. Here, selfish motives are a little bit sacrificed for the sake of the social life, harmony also. So mistaken style gives more selfishness. So why we need this? What motivates this style? There it is Adler. This is not there in book in depth. So we generally adopt means for harmony. The requirement. This requirement comes from our occupational tasks and marriage and love and marriage tasks or family tasks. And then the social tasks, other tasks here in which this is social tasks. So these tasks make you to adopt means to achieve your goals. But what is the foundation for style? That comes from your experience, past life. So and your attitude. What is there in your past life? They are health and appearance, social and economic position of the family, and practical attitudes, family constellation. Here constellation, birth order. How many children are there? Who are you, the first child or second child or adopted child or only child, pampered child? Their concepts Adler developed. Adler developed a therapy which is presently used for family therapy, also for children, problematic children. And gender role. We discussed about gender role, gender identity in our personality development in the early stages. Okay. Now, what are these attitudes? 5 attitudes. Your attitude to yourself, attitude to others, and attitude to other sex, male or female, depending on the gender, attitude towards your life, and your attitude towards the difficulties. What we thought is, whatever goals are there in implementing those goals, that is fictional finalism, we adopt certain methods, which we also take risk for achievement. We face certain difficulties. These are Adler says that they are developed during the childhood. These concepts are developed during the childhood. But Erickson, who developed psychosocial personality development, says that they are not developed in the childhood, but in the adolescence. Okay. So this is about the 5 styles. Then creative self is creative self. What we call this is the first cause, which is we cannot describe what it is, and unitary consist. This is the force that creates personality in us. This personality is unified. He says unified, dynamic, subjective, and unique. Okay, just 1 minute, sir. Just one is there. Sir, sorry for disturbance. So let me go for PowerPoint. Is PowerPoint visible, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry for disturbance. Now, creative self is first causal role in formation of personality. This personality is unified with social needs also, social interest. And it is unique. It is not predetermined as Freud and Jung told. They are deterministic in stages. But he says it is individually is unique. You cannot fix it. It dynamically changes, and it is unique to individual person. It is not permanent. In case of Freud and Jung, they are the features of 5 stages of development in Freud. That is oral, anal, and other things. They are fixed. But here he says that it is not fixed. Okay. Here the personality development, source of personality development, always remember that this is a creative self. This is very important element in our. So he says that personality is not developed by other forces, but human beings makes their own personality with the help of the society, with the support of the society. So now comes the birth order. Birth order is also determines personality. If you are the first child, you receive more. Somewhere I lost it. If you are the first child, you initially get a unique position and more attention from the parents. Sometimes it is possible that you may get spoiled. And the second one of only 2. Actually, Adler discussed about different birth order positions, even adopted children and biologically twins. Those concepts also subsequently discussed. Here, let us see that second of only 2 behaves as if in race, in competition, sibling rivalry will be there. He will be in competition with the others. So the next middle one feels that is squeezed out by the elder one and the younger ones. So they get problems in the later day period. The youngest baby is a favorite one. So he will be having a pleasure of enjoying the more freedom. Only child learns pampered child. Here does not learn to share. Socialization will be difficult for this person. This having the birth order. So the birth order gives certain traits. You can take the printout of it because time is short. I will bypassing this one. So you may take screenshot it. So what I discussed brief about in initial introduction, step by step, this is what method of striving towards final goal, innate striving force, that the creative self is there, that gives innate striving force for the superiority. Also, there is so when you are striving, there could be difficulties and physical deficiencies or problems in adopting the style of life. That when that gives success or failure, because if frequent failure is there, you get inferiority. That I already discussed about exaggerated feeling and normal feelings. Then social interest is the one which unifies the personality, and success gives the successful implementation gives the perception that you are superior. But in the person who is having repeated failures get intense inferiority, he adopts different methods. I exaggerated mechanisms. I already discussed about that. Then exaggerated feelings that I am great, he fails again, and so instead of striving for the common good, he strives for the personal. He ignores completely the social needs or the family needs, and he tries to excel himself. Then comes the personal superiority. Finally, final goal is dimly perceived. Even he achieves with this exaggerated feelings, his satisfaction or success is less. Then when he fails to reach, I told different mechanisms. One adopts. There are three types of mechanisms, that is alibis or excuses, and then this aggression against others, and distancing from seeking. So this just here are there. Distancing means withdraw. These are there in the book. We compared with the defense mechanisms of the given by the Freud. Just to take the snapshot of it, I will bypass this. Then there are 4 styles generally people use: selfish style, and everything for him only, but he will not share with others. Then avoiding is for low self contacts will be there. And ruling and dominant strive for power, and they want their share, and also don't want to share together. They can become antisocials also. Then socially useful are lot with social contacts. As we discussed earlier, social interest will be more in these people. Similarly, striving is also will be more. Striving for superiority, they will achieve their goals. This is about the Adler's theory. Then once these are not achieved, they will get the neurotism. This neurotism also concept is also I discussed earlier while giving some answers and other things. The solution, what he says is you change the goals, you fix self-ideal, also change the style of life. That means you are adapting to it realistically. And third one is you have to strive for not only your good, but also for social good. These three will become, you can overcome the neurosis. Okay, sir. Please let me know if you have any doubts. I will close this one. I will now I will share.
Sir, please share the PPTs.
Okay, I'm sharing.
And any the question.
At the last, we will see, sir, because time is short. Once we complete form is very smart one.
Okay.
From is also a follower of psychoanalysis. He is very much influenced by Freud and Adler also. He is more influenced also by Karl Marx. Karl Marx says socialization of the assets and socialization of the personality. So here also, Fromm is influenced by it. His theory is called as, his psychology is called as political psychophilosophy. He focused more on the wars, unrest in the nation, unrest in the political structure, economy. Why different fields unrest is there? Why people surrender their will to the powerful classes who are destroying the world with their power, not only world, locally, nationally, locally, and targeting other people and destroying other sects, religions, or race. He is basically a Jew, but he saw in the First World War, Second World War, certain majorities of the people, why people are, individuals are surrendering their will to the destructive people. This political analysis we can adopt to any nation, whether it is India, Pakistan, America, Japan, or medieval countries or Islamic countries. All these people adopt same methodology in order to they get the surrendering of their right and power to the powerful class. Why this is happening? This is the first question he poses. Then he went on to study the human history. In the human history, he started tracking the history. For this, he had certain basic assumptions before starting his psychology or philosophy. We call him psycho-philosopher. He gave not only psychology theory, but also philosophy. So it looks like a preaching or like a religious preaching. So he says that humanity, human beings are separated from the nature. Human beings, as the development is taking place in the world regarding industrial revolution, agricultural revolution, and Renaissance, all these aspects making man is center of the problems or successes or their life. Instead of God is relegated back and the human being came back. Here, he had given up the religion. Fromm has given up the religion, traditional religion as a Jew. Then he is not talking in terms of God here. He is talking in terms of nature and the society versus the individual. As in the initial stages, there are primary ties with the nature or animals or trees and environment, and also colleagues or so co-inhabitants. That primary ties make us to share and live together and reciprocate to one another. Once this concept is there and it is being continued historically, suddenly in the medieval ages, where we see mercantile capitalism, productive means are changing, there the church started taking more importance, and churches started taking more importance, and individual freedom is a little bit regressed, and there is fight against the church. During this period, these primary ties are not completely broken. They are there. Primary relations are there, but they are partially disturbed. Then during the time of Reformation, Renaissance, and Revolution, now in the modern age, 16th century onwards, the people started breaking these primary ties with the nature and one another in the society and moving towards more independence and freedom. So now it is very difficult to go back to that, restoring those primary ties, but keeping the individualism or individual perfection or individual self-realization, also achieving the harmony with the society, harmony with the nature, or union. He says union with the nature or union with the society. How it is to be established is the main question for him. While answering these questions, he found reasons for why we surrender our freedom and to the powerful classes or powerful person. In the what he says is, while we are realizing that living alone or feeling of isolation, what we got in the modern days, is giving anxieties. So what he says is, during this period of separation or isolation, we are partly animals and partly human beings. There is a unique situation in human beings presently. Animals flock together. Human beings are living individual. This is the meaning here. They develop two challenges. One is historical challenges, called as historical dichotomies, where animal instinct is there, one will be exploiting the other. Cultural tragedies also will be there. They are man-made. They can be overcome. But existential dichotomies, while we are staying, living in the environment or a society, we are having three problems. One is life is threatened by disease and loss of near one or death. Now there is a dichotomy between life and death. So in order to overcome what present day people, historically when we say, they brought out the concept of life after death in order to convince this pain of death. So even I die now, there is a life after death. This is what he says. This is the basic assumption. Second one is, one wants to achieve his best or the individual self-actualization, but it is not possible because life is not, he says, lifespan is not enough to achieve what we want to achieve. What is the perfect finding the harmony with the nature or individual? That is impossible in the given lifespan. We need a lot of, that's why the concept of life after death. And another concept is, what I am doing is the best for the world or best for the society. This is the ultimate. These concepts one develop in order to cope up with this anxiety. And third, the dichotomy is less, that is separation from the society and the nature. Man is more individualized. Now the concept is, when he is on the border of isolation, not complete isolation, he is on the border of isolation, but wanted to have union. I want to overcome the isolation, which is impossible presently. He cannot completely isolated, completely united again with this. So what is that we have to do from these dichotomies is the problem. Now he says that he had given certain things, that first you accept that there is problem. First you accept it and strive for union with the neighbors or society or the nature. Then you share happiness with the others and the society. This is the method, one method, if constructive method he had given. If this is not happening, that is in the constructive method, we have to halt this process of individualization, living alone. Say, for example, joint families we can adopt, or living together concepts we can adopt, like such things, and sharing with the society. So then halt this process of complete individualization, and then create new bondages with the people. And finally, you can escape from misery by properly using the freedom of one's own will, according to one. What is required, only you do it. Don't do what others are doing. This is what he says. Individualism should be there. Simultaneously, sharing bondages with others also should be there. This is more philosophical content at this. If you are not accepting that there is a problem here, then what happens? This person will have use more safeguards, as told by Adler. Here he uses regressive strategies, as told by the Freud, and he tried to escape from the freedom. if is a illusionary safety, that we will discuss now later. What are the strategies one adopts to overcome this anxiety? The anxiety that we will see now. So this creates problems in the health. This is what the essence of. So historical study he made and come to the conclusion that there are dichotomies, historical dichotomies, and also the essential dichotomies. Okay. So these essential dichotomies I already discussed about these through life after death, how we use and what I did is the best I think, and then uniting with society and nature. It is even the complete impossible. What to do? Solutions we just discussed. Now, in order to overcome the separateness and to achieve the unity, one has to transcend. But in terms of transcending and establishing relations with nature and society, man or woman adopts certain techniques, escape techniques. These techniques are, 4 techniques are there. Shall we go ahead, sir? Sir, can you mute, sir? Somebody who is talking there, please. Okay. Then in the authoritarianism, first one is authoritarianism, where we surrender our will or the power to the powerful people, that we will get safety and we get out of the isolation. For example, Congress party or Congress or BJP, whatever, you try to identify. Sir, can you anybody mute those person who is disturbing the class, sir?
Ramakrishna garu.
Okay, sir. So authoritarianism, we surrender our power to the powerful so that they will abuse it, saying what they will play one and against other, what Hitler did against the Jews, and demand for more powers will be there with that. So we will lose more independence. So these mechanisms are to escape from freedom and to identify union with others. The method we are adopting, authoritarianism, acts against our own independence. And next one is destructiveness. Once you assume that particular person, the powerful person is hampering your progress or freedom and union, then you try to take a type of revenge like, and you start destroying those forces. For that, you will be aligning with the groups, hate groups, religious extremism in the name of patriotism, adopt anti-social and cruel acts.
Sir, మీరు మ్యూట్ చేయగలరా సార్? రామకృష్ణ
I am saying it, sir. Just I am. Okay, I muted him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. I should say that. Okay. Okay. Just, is it visible, sir? Screen? Oh, no.
Now we are able to see, sir.
Okay, thank you. So here, destructiveness, in order to take the revenge against those who are using power to hamper your individuality and taking away more freedom from you, you will use a destructive method. It is also not good. It is not a constructive method. It also goes against your individualism. Then automation conformity means, suppose others are doing, you also do. That is purchasing the things, or purchasing, neighbors are purchasing TV, you purchase TV. They purchase dishwasher, you purchase dishwasher. Or whatever items they are purchasing, you think that you are in union with them. And then because you are in union with them, you feel that you are not isolated. So without losing your individuality here. But while doing that act of following others, automatic conformity, that also makes you lose your freedom, further freedom. So ultimately, one constructive method is given: individualization, is self-actualization. Instead of adopting these 3 methods, we can use individualism. In individualism, we go for this is healthy techniques. We try to realize ourselves and we do what we want, what is best for you and society, but not for namesake or for imaginary or perceived strengthening of the self. So in order to achieve this individualism, what we have to do? This is the next question posed by from. Now, one historically studied and found that man is getting isolated. Isolated personality is not good. Unified personality is good. Unified means with the nature of the society. How to achieve it? What are the problems of it? What are the methods we are using it? There are 4 methods. 3 methods are not good. Following others blindly and surrendering your freedom blindly is not good. So what he did is, he advised there are certain basic needs. There are certain basic needs every human being should achieve or fulfill. Those needs are to be achieved through productive orientation. If that is done, you will be, there is a possibility of the self-realization. If there also your basic needs you are fulfilling using unproductive orientations, that will not solve your problem. Now let us see what are the basic needs. There are 4 basic needs. So there are 4 basic needs. These basic needs are there from the existence, and they are aimed at removing this isolation. Please remember, basic needs are aimed at removing the isolation and unifying with the other. That these you cannot alone fulfill. With the cooperation of others only you can fulfill. So go for this these basic needs in union with the social needs. So this relatedness is one of the basic needs, unifying yourself with the others. And transcendence is becoming genuinely creative and rising above your annual instincts and throwing out into the world. That is, without thinking, just you will be identifying yourself with the others. Then rootedness and identity, both are same. In our book, it has given one desire, one basic need, but other people make it 5 separate. Rootedness is where you are there, that is son of the soil, like you will be staying there only. Because of modernization, what is happening is you are becoming more mobile for the job and other, going continentally or going away or locally also not staying. So he says that try to be rooted. Then I sense of identity, awareness of self as a separate person should be there in order to have union with the society and nature. The sense of identity, your identity should be there. That is required. Then frame of orientation, very important of all. It gives the direction and plan of action also it can give you for you. A framework is given for identification. What is that? It is needed by every human being to make their way through the world since they are split off from the nature. The goal of the frame aim is again union. Lack of such a frame could lead to confusion. What you have to do, how to protect your individuality, how to share with others or unite with others, that will become confusion for you. So organization of various stimuli that encourage individuals could be done through this frame making. It is easier to understand the idea behind various elements. Whatever is encroaching on you, if you feel that, you try to understand what is the reason behind it. Is it hampering your freedom or is it hampering your union with the others? That is the criteria what you have to apply in the frame of reference. Once you apply it, you will better understand the phenomenon and cope it. If we are not having a reliable frame, then you will be struggling in this endeavor to unite. So here, last point, see, lack of satisfaction of any of these needs leads to insanity, mental illness. So what we discussed earlier is the historical evolution, and there are basic anxieties, 3 anxieties, fear and that is life and death, and self-actualization, and union with the separation and subsequent union with the nature. How to visualize it? For visualizing that, people are adopting certain means which are escapist means, we discussed about automation of conformity, authoritarianism, districtism, and individualization. Individualization, self-realization happens. For self-realization, what you have to do is you have to fulfill our basic needs. What are the basic needs? You know, what are the methods we use for basic needs fulfillment? There are two methods. These are productive methods and unproductive methods. They are called as productive means, productive orientations and unproductive orientations. There are, he gave non-productive or some unproductive. Some people use, you can use any word. They are to unite you with the nature only. Again, relate you with the nature. But these non-productive means will not help you in realizing yourself or going nearer to or breaking the isolation. What are they? Receptive. That means you want to receive from others passively without being active. Hoarding whatever you have, you hoard it, and only selfishly you won't share it, and you want to enjoy yourself. And exploitative, you make exploitative ideas to get these objects, what these needs fulfilled. And marketing, depending on the ability to sell yourself in order to get access to those needs and convince others. If these four are adopted, non-productive orientations, they won't make you self-actualized or united with the nature. So what he says is productive orientations are required. So the productive orientations are nothing but working productively, creatively, living and loving with responsibility and respecting others, caring others, knowingly with knowledge, and then reasoning. Some people call this as a living also. Reasoning, concern for others. If these three are there, you will become productive orientation. So now what we thought, what we discussed earlier is, in order to individualize, that is the best method. The constructive method of coping with the anxiety from the isolation is individualization. For individualization, basic needs should be fulfilled, which causes union with others. For that, productive means productive orientations are important. Now I will stop here and give a definition of personality. Please write it down. It is not there in the book. According to Fromm, somebody unmute and prompt, sir.
Yes, sir.
According to Fromm, personality is
Okay.
sum of
Yes, sir.
acquired and innate
Sir.
psychic activities.
Okay, sir.
These are gained with the influence of upbringing by parents,
Sir.
and past experiences,
Yes, sir.
full stop. It gives unique individuality, not a common individuality. The characters, what we discussed now, we have to write that one, character orient. These character orientations provide us means of individual relations with the others and determine human actions. So here the personality defines from the character orientations. What are character orientations? Character orientations are nothing but the productive orientations and the unproductive orientations. Here he gives importance for the productive orientations. He says that love is the of all methods. From consider love to be the sole way of uniting individual with the world, yet to maintain individuality and integrity. Here, compromising individuality with the union or with the society and the world. That is what is the ultimate aim of Rom. That can be achieved through the personality having productive orientations. In the productive orientation, three elements are there: work, productive love, and productive living or reasoning. In that, love is the soul. That means highest importance is given to the love. Love is according to him, love is an art, answer to man's troubles. Love is an active process, not a passive process. It is an art of living. He says about the five, they are given in our book also. There are 5 types of love. One is brotherly love, love in equal status; motherly love, care for the helpless; erotic love, love for husband or wife is a family institution; and self-love, self-care, self-respect, and self-knowledge. That means here self-awareness and the love of God. So ultimately, Fromm says that all-inclusive force is seen as the final answers to the human dilemmas. What are human dilemmas? We have discussed them about dichotomies are nothing but dilemmas there. It gives new dimensions to the human situation, rising humans to their full creative height. Okay, sir. So this is how the power given to the others who are misutilizing can be controlled. Also, individual progress can happen. Also, social progress can happen. You see, if you see both Fromm and Adler, both are emphasizing on the social perfection and social good, social union of individual, both. But means told by both are different. He says the orientations towards the fulfilling basic needs, that which are whatever are positive, plays important role. But in Adler, he focused more on the style of life, that is means of achieving, means of achieving those goals. Both are similar, but the reasoning and other concepts given by the Adler's looks to be more systematic, but the Fromm's is more philosophical, not highly correlated, but more philosophical. This is the difference between these two. Fromm and both focused on the social determinants. Both believed in psychopathology with variation, their own variations. Okay, sir. While reading Fromm, you first you read historical perspective and then read human situation and dilemmas. Then go for how he try mechanisms to escape authoritarianism and destructiveness and automation of conformity. Then think about the how to overcome basic needs and methods adopted to fulfill these basic needs make us realize ourselves. This is about the Fromm. Now this class is over for these two personality development theories. Please, if you have any doubts, please ask me. Because I have not taken another chapter. These two are because two concepts are there, related concept, similar orientation. That's why I kept in, because they're not covered in many books. Any doubts, sir?
Sir, can you share this slides, sir? I could not. Sir, your voice is muted, sir.
Sorry. Shall we, any doubts, sir? Any doubts regarding Adler and Fromm?
Sir, is the fear will create physical problem, sir?
Fear creates wisdom problem.
Physical or visual vision problem.
Physical problem. Fear causes physical. No. Here he says by birth, some people will be having physical inferior. He causes defects are there that causes inferiority.
That means the fear won't create
That
any
is
physical.
Adler says, but subsequently he also told that when you are trying to achieve your goals or day-to-day in day-to-day life and wherever your existential problems are there with the environment or others, you try to adopt certain methods called as style of life. Style of life is a combination of different activities to achieve our goals. Interacting with the social human beings, maybe your officer, maybe your parents or
Yes, sir.
in the
Okay, sir.
friends. While achieving them, you repeatedly fail to achieve.
Okay.
Then also it causes psychological inferiority complex. That is physics. That is physics. That is a physical defects. Here it is a defect of attempts, failure of attempts. Both inferiorities are there, but in that inferiority is inferiority by default will be Adler says inferiority will be there, but when it crosses the limit, then you get the mental illness.
Sir, can we call it as neurosis, sir?
Now that is what neurotic. The neurosis, that is what it. The name is neurosis only. In our book, it is there, 108 page. Neurosis. When that inferiority is excess or beyond certain limits, then you adopt 2-3 methods. One method is self-aggrandizement. Second method is ignoring the others and just self-promotion you do. Self-interest only you try to fulfill, ignoring entirely the social interest.
Can we add that he will resort to defensive mechanism also, sir?
Defense mechanism, you also adopt. That is what, before that, you have adopted 2 things. One is coping skills. Another one is problem solving. These 2 methods you will adopt before going for these defense mechanisms. I already told that one. 2 methods are, one is direct problem solving, then second one is coping methods. If those coping methods fail, then he adopts safeguards. These safeguards are nothing but defense mechanisms. There are 3 types of safeguards that is there in our book also. That is excuses. One is physical. You say that I tell you to read this book, then you immediately say, I am having headache, I am weak, I am not having interest present. These are all alibis what you use because you are in a failed situation. Second one is also used psychologically. I'm having fear of failure, so I cannot do it. That psychological alibis are there, physical alibis are also used. They are called excuses, but they only temporarily postpone your anxiety of inferiority. So you use aggressive postures. Then that another method, you go into the comfort zone by abandoning your targets or goals. These 3 are basic safeguards. I have given how the safeguards are compared with the defense mechanisms in our slide. Just because you are asked, okay, I don't know. I can't go to other previous lecture.
Okay, sir, no problem, sir. Please share the PPT, sir.
Okay.
And also that quotation also, sir. We don't have pen and pencil, so.
Relation is not. I collected it from another book. I wrote in my book.
Yes, sir, just that.
Okay.
Screenshot.
Because it is about personality development, we should have personality definition and the process of development, right? So
Yes,
that definition is I could not find anywhere in the book in the form. That's why. But structure of personality, you have to write in Adlers, you have to write all those 7 components. But in Fromm, you have to write about these One is basic needs, dichotomies, basic needs, orientations, and techniques to overcome the anxiety.
Okay, sir.
These are the structure of a personality, but the disorders we already discussed. Here he says when basic needs are fulfilled, it gives mental illness. There, our Adler says inferiority complex, when it is not coped up properly, it gives neurosis. There is a difference between these needs are not fulfilled. That is Fromm. Fromm says if needs, basic needs are not fulfilled, that is relatedness and transcendence and rootedness and not having frame of reference, that is frame of orientation, in order to have friendly relationship with the world. Then if they fail, you will get, he says insanity. No, not just you can say mental illness.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Okay, I will share this 1 minute. Defense mechanism, somebody asked. I will.
So sorry for from, as you're telling, in the textbooks only authoritarianism and human situation.
Authoritarianism in the slides I have given, book is also it is there.
Yeah, so in the slides, this is extra information. No? So the anxiety and all, which we have to mention in the paper.
No, actually, this is there in the human situation. He had given those existential
Points,
dichotomies.
yes.
Those existential dichotomies give you the anxiety. That's a basic anxiety. These anxieties, in order to overcome, you adopt certain mechanisms, escape mechanisms. There is 3 escape mechanisms. One constructive healthy mechanism is individualization. There you want to realize yourself, also unite with the world. Best is individual. We cannot go back to the primitive ties with the nature or environment, other human beings, animals, or plants, other things, respecting it. As we cannot go it, and we cannot, as science has developed and you have become more independent, more rationality is there, brain is developed more. So you know, you know how to do that one. That's why he says that you keep individuality, but also try for self-actualization and unite with the world.
Right, sir.
Sir,
Thank you.
hello.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, please share your email address, sir.
Okay, just 1 minute. I'm sharing this because I'm not. Yeah. You have to write mind map, otherwise difficult to remember all the theories.
Yeah, sir. You please send the email address, sir, that we will ask to send PPT, sir.
Okay. Actually,
Each theory you're telling, sir, Nagabhushan, sir, for each
Yeah,
psychologist theory, it's easier to remember like that, right?
No, you have to write mind map.
Mind map, like for each theory, right?
For each theory, you have to write mind map.
Yeah, that's a good tip, sir.
Alt A, I think, I don't know, Alt A.
So you're on mute again.
In the right side, we are having Freud's, here Freud's defense mechanisms, and here left side, we are having Adler's safeguard mechanism. How their comparison is there?
Your screen is not visible, sir.
Not visible?
No.
I made screen sharing just now.
Sir, that is not coming, sir.
Oh, pause. How to start? See, sharing. I will restart.
Something is obstructing the screen, sir. It must have-
Here, screen sharing paused. How to make it?
So double click on that. Double click on that.
No, it is not coming. Okay, resume slides. Is it visible, sir?
No, sir.
No, some problem. I don't know.
No, sir. It is asking you
Okay,
to
okay,
double
right.
click to enter the full screen.
I did it, sir, but it is somehow resume share. I clicked.
Sir, maybe bandwidth problem, sir. Yeah, if it is given email address, then we will
No,
get
it
shared.
says it is paused. I don't know. I also clicked on the. Okay, no problem. I will share this. No problem.
సార్ వాట్సాప్ లో పంపిస్తే పంపించండి సార్ వాట్సాప్ లో అయితే
Okay, okay, right. తప్పకుండా.
నేను గ్రూప్ షేర్ చేస్తాను సార్
Okay, okay, right. ఈ మోస్ట్లీ ఇవి 4 ఇప్పుడు మనది లాస్ట్ లో నౌ వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ఓన్లీ వన్ థింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ 3 థియరీస్ ఆర్ దేర్. వన్ ఈస్ హార్నెస్ థియరీ and Harry Stark, Sullivan theory, and Eric Erikson. Next time we will cover these 3 because Eric Erikson we are reading from the first year. We will complete this in the next Friday, Saturday. Then go for behavioral and cognitive personality. Okay, sir.
ఓకే సార్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So much.